Yeah, hello everyone. Good evening because I'm signing in from Lagos, Nigeria. However, for those that will be watching the YouTube later, whenever you're watching, it's a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you may be watching this YouTube video from. My name is Sandra Iheanacho. It's glad to have you. Welcome to the Training Transfer Effectiveness webinar series. Today being Thursday, September 4, 2025. Welcome. So glad you are here. Welcome. So glad you are here. So let's have introductions. So please, we do our introductions in 3 ways. Tell us your name, the country you're joining in from, and your role in your organization. So just 3 things: your name, the country you're joining in from, and the role in your organizations. Just type it into chat. Just type it into chat and I will read it out. I think Emmanuel and Anthony, if I'm not mistaken, are old bees. They're not newbies. I think Sandra may be an old bee. I'm not sure again. So please just type into chat. I'm checking the chat box now. Type into chat. Okay, I wouldn't wait for you because of time. However, I expect you to type into chat. Okay, great. Emmanuel, yes. Emmanuel, our ever-present Emmanuel. Emmanuel's name is Emmanuel is joining us all the way from Accra. Adentwi Junior, L&D coach and team lead at Same Consult, is in Ghana. Sandra is joining us from Ghana. Welcome, Sandra. You're my namesake. Yeah. Anthony Kenya. And Anthony joining us from Kenya is a customer excellence and HRB. Yeah. Sandra, what's your role in your organization, if you don't mind? What's your role? What's your role in your organization, if you don't mind? Then we wait to hear from Judith too. Okay, while we wait for Sandra to do that and Judith to also do the same, this is me. Let me introduce myself. Okay, I see something in the chat box. Yeah. Okay, Senior HR Officer at Matrix Gas Ghana Limited. Welcome, Sandra. Welcome. While we wait for Judith to also introduce herself. So this is me. My name is Sandra Iheanacho. I'm known as the Oracle. I'm also called Africa's leading voice on training transfer effectiveness. If you want to know why I'm being called that, ensure you wait after the webinar and I'll tell you. I'm the CEO of M Consulting Limited. So this webinar for the past 8 months, we started in January, has been put together by M Consulting Limited. It's a human capital development organization in Lagos, Nigeria. And we've been having this webinar every Thursday for the past 8 months. Yes, you heard me, 8 months. We've been having this webinar. And so I'm an ex-banker. I am a CEO now, which is the CEO of where I work, M Consulting Limited. I'm the CEO there. I am mother of 5 children. I am an IFC Global Master Trainer. IFC stands for International Finance Corporation. It is a sister arm of the World Bank. I work with them as a Global Master Trainer, training for them. I'm also a certified assessor with the Learning Performance Institute. LPI is one of the largest organizations when it comes to learning and performance. It's in the UK. I'm also a transfer enabler for Africa for the Institute for Transfer Effectiveness. It's one of the greatest investments I've made in my life for joining the Institute for Transfer Effectiveness. And the transfer enabler means that I'm representing the Institute I'm representing Africa on behalf of the Institute. So everything concerning Africa, certifying people in Africa, I represent the Institute in doing that. And the Institute is in Switzerland. It's the institute that did the 12 levers that helps you in applying what you've learned. Transfer, basically what I'm talking and what I'm doing. So I'm Nigerian's first certified transfer designer. I'm a resource person with the Lagos Business School. I teach in the Lagos Business School. I teach on leadership. I'm a certified transformational coach. I'm a certified team and group coach. I'm a certified Kirkpatrick professional bronze level. So the two models, the two frameworks we use as an organization, and whereby it's the foundation where we build the models we are talking about, because this webinar is all about the models we built and the framework we are using. It's called the TTEOS. So Kamsi, if you don't mind, please you write it out in the chat box for them. TTE-OS. It stands for Training Transfer Effectiveness Operating System. Now, it is a system that was built that helps organizations to show return on investment and return on expectations for every of their training investment. And that operating system is made up of 3 things: 2 models and 1 framework. And so this webinar we started since January is all about the framework and the model on how African businesses and beyond Africa, right? However, because we're an African country, we're interested a whole lot in Africa. We have a 6-year mandate starting this year till 2030 to work with at least 500 organizations in Africa to help them show return on investment, return on expectations for their training investments. Our counterpart countries, the European countries and the US, even the UK, a lot of them know about this, what we're talking about. Compared to Africa, very limited organizations and limited people in Africa know about return on investment and return on expectation. So I decided to take that took that mantle, took it upon myself to help businesses show ROI and ROE for their training investment. And that's what I've been doing since this year, and that's what I'll keep doing until 2030, when we've been able to go around Africa. And as a result of this, I've gone to various countries. I've gone to Ghana. I was in Ghana in May. We did a breakfast meeting, bringing thought leaders together, CHROs, CEOs, HR directors, HR L&D directors, HR managers, L&D managers. We bring them together in a room to discuss this. We did that. Sorry, excuse me. We did that in May in Ghana. We did that in June in Lagos. We did that in August last month in Rwanda, Kigali, Rwanda. We're going to do that next month in Kenya, October 23 precisely in Kenya. We're going to do that. And so after that, we continue again in February to other countries. We have Gambia, we have Zambia, we have Zimbabwe, we have South Africa, we have Tanzania. So we are going around every African country. We have Ethiopia too, to create this awareness so that businesses will start showing ROI and ROE for all their training investment. And so I've been a teacher and a trainer for the past 26 years, both formally and informally. I say, when you stop learning, you start dying. So with everything you've seen me talk about, I've not stopped learning. So excuse me. And I hope to, by this year, during our conference, I'll be certified on the accelerated learning to become an accelerated learning professional or expert, as the case may be, by the Center for Accelerated Learning. The director is Tom Meyer. So Tom Meyer is coming all the way from the US to certify people. I've not been certified on that. However, I use some of the principles, so I'll join the class to be certified on that. Then next year, this is another way, one of the ways I want to also be certified, the High Performance Learning Journeys certification by Promote. And if none of he's called the godfather of evaluation, Professor Robert Brinker. If you're L&D and HR, you don't know about him, that means you've not started. Go and Google him, read about his work, read about the things he has done. And so when you stop learning, you start dying. So that's a little bit about myself. And we move on. And I usually say, difficult roads lead to beautiful destination. Like Anthony joining all the way from Kenya. Kenya is 2 hours ahead of Nigeria. So for Anthony, the time is 9:29 p.m. Here in Nigeria is 7:29. In Ghana is 6:29. In Rwanda is like 8:29, 1 hour ahead of us. So for Anthony to be here at 9:29, listening to a webinar says a whole lot about him. There's somewhere he's going to, there's something he wants to achieve, and that's why he's taking the pain to be here. Also, I'm also taking the pain to be here, myself and my team. Kamsi works for us, and also Dr. Chinyere also works for us. We just finished work and we jumped into the webinar. Kamsi left the office like 30 minutes before we started the webinar, and she had to rush home, join in the webinar again. So it's crazy, and I've been sitting here preparing for the webinar. However, we know where we are heading to, and the beautiful destination for us as a company is that we want to see many HR managers, HR officers, HR directors, L&D managers, L&D officers, L&D directors, trainers. We want to see you helping businesses. For those who are professionals in the organizations, we want to see you help your organizations show return on investment and return on expectation for all their training investment. Why for the trainers, the entrepreneurs like Emmanuel, we want to see you work with businesses and help them show ROI and ROE. And so if we are able to achieve that, then we don't mind all the stress coming here every time. Like when we hear the testimonials for a lot of people have been giving a lot of testimonials about how this webinar has helped them. So many of them, one of them is Emmanuel here. I'm sure I'll give him an opportunity to share again, right? And so that gives us joy, and we look forward to coming. Even when we are tired, we are coming. So difficult roads leads to beautiful destination. And we are tweaking. So every week we tend to tweak our web, not necessarily every week. When we see things we think we need to change to ensure you get the best, we do that. Before I start the webinar, I want to start by introducing the Mastermind program. This is a program that is running for the 14 weeks. We started the quarter one, it was 18 weeks. But right now, we have changed it to 14 weeks based on the feedback we've gotten. We have changed it to 14 weeks. And so it is a journey to help HR leaders, HR managers, L&D leaders, L&D managers, to help them to become strategic partners, strategic business partners. We want them to be able to demonstrate ROE for their training investments. We want them to be able to engage stakeholders and build buy-in for their training initiatives. We want them to no longer be seen as a cost center, as an order taker, rather be seen as an investment center, as a strategic partner. We want you to position yourself as strategic leaders, just training facilitators, not just order takers. And so because of that, we put together this program. It's called the Mastermind program. And we have cohort 1 already running. It's filled up, maxed out, and we are running. The next cohort is coming up October 6th, next month, October 6th, cohort 2, and it runs up till January 5, 2026. So we are calling on you, take up this opportunity. It's just $2,500, and we have a payment plan that would help you to ensure that you don't faint while paying, right? So you can pay like 3 times, you can pay like 4 times. So we have a payment plan. So if you're interested in this, send us an email at the email address there, info@mbrandconsultinggroup.com. Kamsi, kindly type it on the chat box, or Dr. Chinyere, any of you, please. info@mbrandconsultinggroup.com. That is the email, and write with the subject Mastermind Cohort 2. Mastermind Cohort 2. And there are other cohorts coming up. We have cohort 3, cohort 4, and cohort 5 all through next year. So in case you feel you cannot join cohort 2, you can join cohort 3. And we will be sharing that. If you go to our website, which you see there, www.mbrandconsultinggroup.com, you would see this various cohort of our mastermind. And another thing we want to also bring to you is a big news. It's called the International Training Transfer Effectiveness Conference. It's happening here in Lagos, Nigeria. It's the first ever conference that looks at return on investment and return on expectation for all your training investment. There's no conference in Africa, in the world, that is talking about return on investment and return on expectations. So we are the first people starting it. We are premiering it. We are the first ones bringing it to Africa and to the world. Do not miss this conference. It's a 2-day conference, November 13 and 14. However, if you can't come to Lagos, Nigeria, you can join online. You can join virtually. And we intentionally created what we call the virtual experience. And the virtual experience, we created a high-level online platform that will ensure that all the things, all the experiences, all the learnings, all the networking, all the opportunities those on ground physically will get, you would also experience it. We paid so much to have that platform, right? And even have the people that would ensure that this platform works, the engineers that will be making sure you're able to interact, you hear, you move into the various rooms, everything. So you don't need to come to Nigeria if you cannot. And if you go online to www.mbrandconsultinggroup.com, click on ITTE conference. When you get into the ITTE conference website, you go to attend. Go to virtual attendee. It is just $350. We look forward to seeing your registration. Register and you'll be glad you did. And this is just to show you some of the speakers. We have Melanie Martinelli joining in she's coming all the way from Switzerland. She's the CEO of the institute where I work, Institute for Transfer Effectiveness. We have Tom Meyer, who is the director of the Center for Accelerated Learning. He's coming all the way from America, the US. We have Anna Langita coming all the way from Austria. Then we also have our Nigerian speakers. Do not miss this conference. And last but not the least about the conference I want to show you is you have the opportunity to get certified. You saw me, I'm sure you saw all the certifications. I was calling them one by one. Yeah, so you have the opportunity. I was just trying to look for the notebook where I wrote it. So you have the opportunity to get certified in all this certification. The Certified Transfer Designer online is about €2,000, but if you come on ATEC conference, you're going to get it at $1,550 if I'm not mistaken. The Kirkpatrick Bronze certification online, go and check it out. If you want to do it virtually or online, you will pay about $2,000 something. Not too sure of how much it is. However, if you come for ITEC, you will be paying $1,050. The Accelerated Learning Certification workshop, you will pay about $1,500 something. But if you join us, you're paying $950. The IFC LPI TPMA trainer certification by the IFC and the LPI, you pay about $650 to $750. However, if you come through ITEC, you're paying $550. So you can see that you are saving so much money. Ensure you don't miss any of this. You can do any of the certification. If you want to do all of them, that's fine. Do not miss this opportunity. It's an opportunity of a lifetime. Good. So let's go ahead to what we have this week. How many of us were here last week? So what we usually do every week is this webinar is an application webinar. And when I say an application webinar, what I mean is whatever you learn the week before, you are supposed to practice it that week and the following week. It's not just coming here, you sit, you listen. It's different. You must, it's a must. You must apply. You must do something. Either you're inviting somebody, you're going to read up something on our company website, our social media handles. Kindly share our social media handles and our YouTube. All our social media handles, the YouTube, the Instagram, the LinkedIn. Go and watch our YouTube. So many videos. We have over 26 videos now. So is that you're watching the video, either you are using the skills or the knowledge you've learned, you're reading one of the books I've asked you to buy, you must do something. You can't be coming here every week and you remain the same, right? So who are those that were in the webinar last week? Are there those that were in the webinar last week who wants to share? What did you do? What new thing did you do? Welcome Pacifica, welcome Magdalene. It's nice to have you here today. Is there anybody that joined us last week that wants to share what you did Okay, so that means nobody joined us from last week that are here. Not a problem. So let's move ahead then. So because of this, we would always at least remind ourselves what we did last week. And so last week, we started the series on return on expectation. Yeah. So if you're not here last week, please go and watch the video on our YouTube. Go and watch it. Go and watch it. So last week, we started the series on return on expectation because we found out that a lot of HR, L&Ds, even trainers, they don't know how to define those broad expectations of line managers and management. A line manager says, my people are not communicating well. I need them to be communicating well. I need them to communicate with people very well. What does that mean? What does that mean? And so I want you to run a communication training. And what I see that HR and L&D people do, you immediately start shopping for the trainers to train them on communication. That's it. And you don't define what they are not communicating well mean. You just ask them to submit proposal on communication, and they show you different things. You will never see ROI and ROE if you follow that method. And so because of that, I found out that they struggle. Even those that came last week struggled. I was asking questions, they didn't even respond. Some owned up and said, somebody owned up, which I loved her so much for that. She said, Sandra, I don't know this and I don't know what to do. Right? So that's what we started talking about. So we're going to do it 3-week series. We did it last week. We're going to do it this week and next week. After next week, we'll not touch it again. We'll move on to other things. So it's called Return on Expectation Unveiled. From vague expectation to measurable results. From vague expectations to measurable results. And we looked at what exactly was ROE. What does ROE mean? And we agreed that, and we saw that ROE is the degree to which the expectations of the business stakeholders are met after training. That's what ROE is. The degree to which those expectations of the business stakeholders, is it the head of operations? Is it the executive management? Is it the CEO, the MD? Is it the ED? Whoever, those expectations they want, when they are met, then you say we've gotten return on expectation. So that was what we did last week. And this week we continue. And so for those joining us for the first time, we say your training transfer effectiveness journey begins. I see a lot of first timers. Welcome to our newbies. So for those joining us for the first time, I can see Judith is joining us for the first time. Sandra is joining us for the first time. Pacifica is joining us for the first time. Stella is also joining us for the first time. Same thing with Magdalene. So welcome. Your training transfer effectiveness journey begins. And for those that have been joining us like Emmanuel and Anthony, your training transfer effectiveness journey continues. Emmanuel is one of our TTE coordinators in Accra, Ghana. So ROE Unveiled series, from vague expectations to measurable results, part 2. So we're looking at the part 2. So what are objectives in this webinar? By the end of this session, you will be able to do the following. 1, explain what return on expectation means in training transfer effectiveness. Identify why vague expectations lead to failed evaluations. Then convert 2 or 3 sample expectations into measurable terms. These are the objectives for this webinar. You should be able to do this at the end of the webinar. And what will be our roadmap? This is how we're going to achieve today's objectives. Q&A, please ask questions, because your questions will help me to resolve any uncertainty. Kindly reflect. And as you're reflecting, be ready to apply what you're reflecting on. Then be ready to tell us your next line of action. What will be your next line of action? Commit to forward movement, backward never. right? Great. So what we also usually do every week is, because we know new people join every week, and because of that, every week we tell the difference between, we speak about the difference between training effectiveness, training transfer, and training transfer effectiveness. Now let me ask our newbies, for those joining us for the first time, what do you think? What's the difference between training effectiveness, training transfer, and training transfer effectiveness? What's the definition? What do you think it means? Anybody? Is there anybody that wants to try? For those joining us for the first time? Anybody? Nobody. Okay, because of time. Or should I just give some seconds? Am I seeing any hands up? Am I seeing anything in chat box? I'm looking at the chat box, nothing. Okay, that's fine. It's okay. That's why you're here in this webinar. Now, what does training effectiveness mean? Training effectiveness is the extent to which training is successful in producing the desired result. Simple, that's what it is, training effectiveness. How many of us know about the 4 levels of evaluation by Kirkpatrick? Just show by raising up your hand. The 4 levels of Kirkpatrick, 4 levels of evaluation by Kirkpatrick. No hands, none of you. Okay. Please go and look for that. Go and read it up. Don't look for the book yet. No idea. Thank you so much, Sandra. Don't look for the book yet, because in case you don't have the money to buy the book, go online and read about it. So come see, help me to type on the chat box. So it's called the 4 levels of evaluation by Kirkpatrick. The 4 levels of evaluation by Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick is K-I-R-K and Patrick, P-A-T-R-I-C-K. Please go and look it up. They are the godfathers of evaluation, one of the godfathers of training evaluation. Awesome. There's another book they wrote, Training on Trial. Awesome book. Go and start reading. So according to Kirkpatrick, this is level 1 and level 2. There are 4 levels, level 1 and level 2. So this is saying, for instance, you say at the end of the training, people should be able to define what leadership is. And at the end of the training, you ask them, they're able to define it. The training has been effective. At the end of the training, you want people to be able to show. Let me use an example. I'm looking at, for example, okay, let's say customer service training. You want them to be able to greet how you taught them. This is how to greet customers when they come. And they come, they do it, they are able to do it. You say the training has been effective. Then one of the training, the learning objective will be at the end of the training, they should be able to, they should score like 85% and above when they do the post evaluation. And after the post evaluation, you see people scoring 89, 90, 95, 100. Say, yay, the training has been effective. Level 1 and level 2, knowledge and skill. Did they enjoy the training? Yes, they did. Did they gain knowledge? Yes. Were they able to practice the skills in the training? Yes. That's it. However, that the training has been effective, that the learning objectives have been achieved, doesn't guarantee return on investment and return on expectation. I'll take that again. That a training has been effective, that a training, you've been able to achieve your learning objective for that training, doesn't guarantee that that training will bring about return on investment and return on expectation. Are we clear on that? Great. That is what training effectiveness is. Now, what is training transfer? For instance, for the customer service training, one of the things we did in the training was, and we told them that when new clients come in, the first thing you should do to them is say, hello, good morning. My name is Sandra. And I wanted to use Sandra, I want to use your name and your surname if you don't mind. So I'm going to look for your surname. Yeah. Okay, Ehun, yes. So good morning. My name is Sandra Ehun. I work with Brand Consulting Limited. Oh no, good morning. My name is Sandra Ehun. Welcome to Brand Consulting Limited. How may I help you? So that is like a template to use to greet customers when they come in. And now, after the training, Sandra went back to the organization, and customers will come in. She said, "Good morning. My name is Sandra Engu. Welcome to Embrand Consulting. How may I help you?" And she applied it. So we say what? Transfer has happened. The knowledge, she's using the knowledge. We say what? Transfer has happened. We say what? Transfer has what? Has taken place. Now, Sandra does it for 1 month. And she's like, "Am I a robot? Every time, good morning. No, please, I'm tired. Must I greet them? They should come. I'll just tell them welcome." And when they come, to "Welcome to Embrand Consulting Limited. How may I help you?" No smile. You know what they taught her was that you smile and you greet using that greeting way. That way we say you should greet. And someone comes and "Welcome to Embrand Consulting Limited. How may I help you?" Can you see that she has stopped? She's tired. She said she cannot continue this. That she cannot come and die. In Nigeria, we say, "I cannot come and die." She cannot come and die, right? That is what training transfer is. So it's the extent to which the trainees apply the knowledge or the skills they've acquired. They demonstrate it, the desired behavior. The behavior you want to see, they demonstrate it at the workplace. That is training transfer. However, that's not where I'm taking you to. That's not where this movement we've been toying around Africa is taking you to. That's not where we get to return on investment and return on expectation. Can you see that Sandra who has stopped? Everything we taught her in training, after 1 month, she has stopped. Is that how you want to get a return on investment and return on expectation? Tell me. This is where we are taking you to. Training transfer effectiveness. It is the extent to which the knowledge, the skills gained from the training, notes, you can see this Control B, are consistently applied on the job. It is consistently applied on the job in a way that leads to measurable performance, improvements, and business impact. Now, the last things I'm going to read out now is the framework we developed. Now, the training transfer, what I just read out is the 2 models we worked. We have 2 models called the MVP and the PDP model. The needs validation process model, go and check it on our YouTube. Kamsi or Chinyere, please, or Dr. Chinyere, please kindly drop our YouTube address so they can check out the videos, and our social media handles. Please drop it on the chat box. Then the second one is the PDP, pre-training, during training, post-training transfer effectiveness model. Then the third thing I'm about to read now, with intentional structures in place to sustain the application over time, is what we call the TTE sustainability framework. Now, if you do not have sustainability framework in place, you do not have structures in place, I tell you, you will not be able to reap and keep reaping the ROI and ROE, even if you see it. There are some people, when they see ROI and ROE, they're fine, they stop, it's over. But do you know that for a training you've seen ROI and ROE, you can keep getting returns from it because you build it into the culture. It now becomes business as usual, what I call BAU, BAU, business as usual, and it becomes a culture. You put it into your system. It becomes a systemic thing. It becomes a process thing, and that everyone that comes in, this is what we do. This is how we do things. Can you see that the training has helped? Those that have attended the training, you'll be able to guide those that will attend the training, and you can see there's like a succession. Those that have attended it are mentoring those that to attend it. But do we see that in a lot of organizations? No, we don't. And that's what we realized, and that's why after 14 years we're able to build these 2 models and framework which we use with clients, and clients are testifying. They're so glad it's working for them, right? So this is where we are bringing you to, whereby you will be able to show the business consistently. You will use those skills, those knowledge, demonstrate those behaviors consistently, and in that way the business improves. There's impact in the business, there's growth for the business, and because for you to be able to do that, you measure the performance. And I want to believe that that's very clear. So that's the difference between training effectiveness, training transfer, and training transfer effectiveness. However, where we are leading you to is training transfer effectiveness. So this is like a summary. Training effectiveness measures the learning and engagement, level 1 and level 2. Training transfer measures application on the job, level 3. Level 3 is behaviors in the 4 levels of evaluation. Then training transfer effectiveness measures the sustained performance and business impact, level 4, in the Kirkpatrick. While in the ROI Institute by Patty Patrick's, if I'm not mistaken, that's level 5 for them. That's for return on investment. They talk more about ROI and impact. And in summary, this is what it is. Let me use my pointer to show you what it is. My Lisa. They learn through training. They go back to the business, they apply. Performance improves, behaviors are changed, and because behaviors are changed, performance improves, the business is impacted. This is a sustainable improvement, and that is what training transfer effectiveness is. Okay, so now let's go to what we have for today. What is return on expectation? What is ROE? So ROE is a measure used to determine the value of training by assessing the performance of learners against the predefined expectations. ROE, I'll take it again, is a measure used to determine the value of training by assessing the performance of learners against predefined expectations. Now, unlike ROI, which is more about the numbers, about figures, return on investment is about figures. We spent 1 million on training, 1 million, whatever currency you have, put it. You spend 1 million, you got 1.5 million. The return on investment, you can see by the time you do the percentage, you see what is the percentage of returns you got. So it's about the numbers, about the figure. It's about the financial returns. However, ROE is more about aligning with what do stakeholders want. What are the expectations? Because if you're able to meet the expectations, you're able to demonstrate the impact of training. That is what ROE is. You can also say ROE, it demonstrates the degree to which training initiatives satisfy the expectations of key business holders. Still the same thing, just in different words. Is the degree to which key business stakeholders' expectations are met after training. So if a line manager says, which I'm going to show you case studies, we're going to do that now. A line manager says, I want my people to be communicating effectively. What is that? That is a broad statement. But that is an expectation. So do you want to get a return on that expectation? Now define that broad statement into specific and measurable. And when you're able to meet those broad statements that you've defined measurable into measurable expectations, you will definitely see ROI. You will. Because this is my own quote. Behaviors are what leads to increase in productivity, change in behaviors. Because you're saying you want people to be, maybe for instance, your salespeople, they are doing transactional selling. And because of that, you're not selling enough. Now you want them to stop doing transactional selling. You want them to start doing consultative selling. That means their behavior must change. The behavior of how they sell transactionally must change so that they can start selling consultatively. If it doesn't change, nothing would happen. And so it is behaviors that bring about productivity. If behaviors do not change in the way you want it based on the expectations of the stakeholders, productivity will not increase. Neither will you get business impact. Neither will you see ROI. So if you're able to work on ROE, invariably you will definitely get ROI, because your ROE will be defined in measurable terms. I think where a lot of HR and L&D have gotten it wrong and been unable to show this is because they've not learned how to define ROE. Those broad expectations of management, of stakeholders, they don't know how to do it. If you're here and you're not a performance, you're not using performance consulting questions, then you've not started. By the way, for those that are just joining us, please tell us where you're joining in from and tell us your role in your organization. It will be glad to know where you're joining, which country you're joining in from, and the role you are in your organization. And so I tell HR and L&Ds, you must be performance consultants. Yeah? Move away from HR jargon, the normal HR terms and L&D terminology, and become a performance consultant. Use performance questioning. Question people based on performance, not HR and L&D jargon. No, let's stop it. Let's stop it. And so that's what we did last week. And this week, we are also doing the same thing. So let me share with you. Let's look at a case study. Now, this is a case study from case. You can see it's saying case study 3. So last week, we did case study 1 and case study 2. Now, this is case study 3. There was a request from the head of operations in this organization. And this was what he said. He said to the HR and L&D, and you are the HR and L&D, he said, I've noticed that my operations, finance and procurement teams, they don't work well together. Thank you so much. Stella is joining in from Nigeria, and she's an HR and admin and L&D coordinator. Welcome, Stella. Thank you. And he said, I've noticed that the operations, finance and procurement teams, they don't work well together. Everyone is in silos. Information is hoarded, and projects keep getting delayed because the departments are blaming each other. See, HR, I need you to run a training on collaboration. They need to learn how to collaborate. If not, this department will not move forward. We need these various units to come together so that my department will move forward. Do you know that I have targets? I must meet my target. So please help me to send these people on training on collaboration. Ensure you get the big 4, the best 4. Okay, we have Magdalene joining in from Kenya. She's HR assistant for 3 months, studying HR, basically learning on the job. Okay, that's wonderful, Magdalene. It's great having you here today. I'm here to learn and get insight on how to be better at my career. You are the right place. Because if you're learning this at this time, that means nobody would see your back when you're done. If you're learning this. So I'm so proud of you. Well done for coming to join. Make sure you keep joining every week. Make sure you watch all the videos. Don't stop joining. So he said, ensure you get one of the big 4s, the best 4s, one of them, the big 4s in this country. Get them to train these people so that this problem is fixed once and for all. Now you're the HR and the L&D. Now let me open question. You're the HR and L&D, and the head of operation has told you this. How are you going to go about it? First of all, we've done, for those that know about MVP, needs validation process model. It's our model that ensures that every performance issue, you go through a 4 diagnostic approach, 4 steps to know if it's a training intervention, a non-training intervention, or an integrated intervention, or both training and non-training. So people like Emmanuel, they already know. So they've done the MVP here, right? And it was an integrated approach, a training approach and a non-training approach. So they're already doing the non-training approach. Now now is the time for them to do the training approach. So all that has been done. And you're getting them ready to having that conversation that is now a training, and is now telling you, get me the big 4s to go for this training. How would you go about it? How can you explain? He said he wants training in collaboration. What are you going to do? Anybody? Try. You're here to learn. Even though your answer is not correct, not a problem. Who wants to try? Before I go ahead. Is there anybody? Okay, nobody. It's okay. That's why you're here to learn. Let me go ahead. At least you will learn with that. Let's move ahead. So see what he said. Look at this, the broad words. Let me use my pointer again. He said they are working in silos, they are hoarding information, and they are blaming each other. Before you move ahead, this must be unpacked into specifics, so that when you're looking for the trainer that is going to train, you already know what you will tell the trainer. Okay, Sandra said something. She said, I will find out from the other department and observe myself. Okay? But even if you observe, what has your observation brought about? When you find out from them, they will also give you broad statement again. So what I am here to help you do is those broad statements of department heads of units, line managers, executive, the stakeholders. I want you to be able to learn using performance consulting question how to define them into specifics. So see the broad statement, silos, holding information, blaming. See what I said? This must be unpacked into specifics. That's the first step. So the first step is, so that's step one, the sponsor's message analysis. So this is what we've analyzed, what he's saying, the sponsor is saying. Step two, ask questions. Ask questions. The only way you know what an answer is when you ask questions. So now, the HR and L&D in this organization now met with this training sponsor. And this is what the HR and L&D said. The first question she asked was, when you say they work in silos, what does that look like on a TCAP project? Because we do not want to assume. So we've agreed we're going to send them on a training, but what are those things? What exactly? So that we are not treating someone is having headache and we are treating toothache. Even if you feel that toothache can cause headache, right? But is it really, is the root cause the tooth? That's assumption. Because you feel that toothache can cause headache, you're treating the person for toothache when you've not found that exactly from by asking the person to know if it's really headache and how is it, when did it start. So this was what the L&D asked. When you say they work in silos, what does that look like on a TCAP project? And this was what the head of operations said. Say finance does their part and holds it without informing operation until deadline slip. Procurement keeps information on vendor delays to themselves instead of alerting us early. Can you see now that you're probing and you're getting answers? You can imagine if, which is what I've seen a lot of HR and L&D do. They go straight away to start shopping for the organization, the big four, like the head of operations said, that will do the training on collaboration without having this conversation. Let's go ahead. We are going somewhere. We are still trying to define the specific. Another question the L&D asked, she asked her, what role should joint meetings or reviews play in keeping projects on track? Because these are 3 units. And he said they don't meet. What is the essence of their meeting? What should their joint meeting do? How do the reviews play for them in keeping their projects on track? How? See his response. See the head of operations response. He said, at least once a month, they should meet. They should meet. And when they meet, let them share progress. They should stop that. Once a month, at least. They can meet more than once. But at least, I want to see that at least once a month, these 3 units, let them meet. And when they meet, they are not just meeting for meeting's sake. As they meet, they will share progress. Operations will share their own progress. Procurement to share their own progress. All 3 of them will share their progress. He now said, can you imagine? At present, they only come together when there's fire on the mountain. That's when they come together. When there's already fire. No. That's not supposed to be. So they should send them on that training. Let them learn to collaborate. That for a department to succeed, there must be collaboration among the units. That was his response. The L&D asked him another question again. Said, how would you know in 6 months that collaboration has really improved? How would you know? See what's his answer? He said, then escalations will be fewer. All those escalations they are bringing to my desk, I will have less of it. I will have less of it. And on that step, the L&D went ahead to ask, when you say fewer, what percentage of escalations have you been having? And he said, HR, L&D, you're not hearing me. Sandra, I have close to It's 75 to 80% escalations. Why do I have people there? I don't want to. I want to. It should be things that are what they cannot handle again should come to me. At least to 15%. And up to 75 to 80% escalations to me. What does that mean? Is that they have various heads of those units? No more. I said with that, projects will be delivered on time with no finger pointing. Nobody saying, is this person that delayed? Is this person that delayed? Then the L&D has not finished asking. Can you imagine? Where did we start from? They are holding questions, they are holding things, they are blaming each other, they want collaboration. Is that not where we started from? See what we are unearthing. What you are unearthing by asking performance questions, performance consulting questions. See what you're unearthing. Than being an order taker. They tell you, I want training on collaboration immediately. You're an order taker, like someone ordering pizza, or someone ordering burger, or someone ordering chicken and fries. You rush and go and bring the chicken and fries. You're not an order taker. HR, L&D, you're a strategic partner. Stop it. You're not an order taker. The L&D, very intelligent woman. She did not stop. She went ahead again to ask. And this was her next question. Then what type of information do you expect operations, finance, and procurement to share? You said they hold information. What kind of information are you expecting them to share? And see the response. So there should be budget updates. All those things, the budgets that they are delayed, let them update. Let there be update on budget. All the vendors, you can see the issue I'm telling you about vendors. There should be timelines to these vendors. Timelines to the vendors, timelines to delivery schedules, and it should be shared openly. Everyone should know where the timelines are. They can use a Google Sheet where everyone that is live, everyone can see it. It's showing. We have this. But right now, each department is guiding their own updates. What are they fighting each other? They're not supposed to come together. This is what the head of operations is saying. The L&D now said, how quickly should this department request or inputs be responded to? So how quickly should operation respond? How quickly should finance respond to procurement, or procurement responds to operation, or operation responds to finance? How quickly? He said if procurement requests a cost breakdown from finance, it should take them no more than 48 hours. It should take them no more than 48 hours. Right now, it's taking them weeks. What kind of people do I have in this department? It should take them not more than 48 hours. Why should they be dragging? See, Sandra, I said these people need serious training. From the best hands, because I don't understand the game. Because I'll soon sack some people. I'll soon fire them. HR, you say, I like firing people from my department. Something has to be done. These were the conversations, the probing question between the line manager, which is the head of operations, and the L&D. Let me pause here before I show you what it's now got to. What are your thoughts? Who wants to share? What are your thoughts? Let me see what is in chat box. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Is there anybody? Or your questions? Are you clear up to this point in time? What are your thoughts? What are your questions? Anybody? Are you clear up to here? Oh, Steve, welcome. I see Steve Giteru has joined us. Welcome. Welcome. Okay, I see Stella's hand up. Stella, please unmute your microphone. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sandra. For me, I see the probing questions, debunking the line managers, let me say, assertions about his workers, his employees. What the HR L&D person is doing is to get to the root cause of what is happening with the team and how best to go about bringing about solutions. So for me, my thought is, what I'm seeing now is that it's not just deployment. What are we deploying for? What type of deployment do we need? At times, for example, let me just put an example. You see some line managers just come, please go ahead, do this training for my people. But they don't really know where the root cause. I'm looking at root cause analysis is very important. And that's exactly what the L&D person is trying to bring about in this particular scenario. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stella. On point. On point. You can see the broad statement. It said, send them on collaboration training. Get the best form. We don't have a problem. We're going to send them on training. Yeah? We know that they need training. However, this training, we want to be able to measure it and show return on investment and return on expectation. Don't you want to get returns on this? You're saying you want them to collaborate more. Don't you want to get a return on the money you're going to spend? We're going to spend money. The organization is going to spend money. Don't you want to receive returns on this? And that's why they're having this conversation. So that's we want them to start collaborating. Will be put in specific and measurable terms that will tie. And so when they go on that training, we will see improvements because we already have what they should be showing. The things they've gotten and said, this is how I will see that they are collaborating. Because from that, what they are doing will show that they're collaborating. So you'll see the end. Is there any other person before I move to the end? Is there any other person? Okay, nobody? Okay. So let me move ahead since there's nobody. These are the defined ROE from the expectations. This is it. From this dialogue, training will only be considered effectively if the staff will consistently do the following. They share requested reports or data across department within 48 hours. They ensure vendor budget and delivery updates are circulated to all relevant teams within the agreed timelines. Whatever timelines they agree, it should be circulated. Whatever timeline procurement agrees, finance agrees, whatever timeline they've agreed, it should be shared. So that all these things now, when you're now looking for the trainer that will do the training, you are giving this to the trainer and said, these are the things we're expecting. These are the things we want you to push. These are the things we want you to say. These are the behaviors we want them to come back to start exhibiting. Why won't you get C return? The 13th, document and hold monthly joint operation, finance and procurement review meetings with minutes and agreed actions. Reduce interdepartment conflicts that escalated to senior management, at least 50%. And last but not the least, achieve 80% on-time completion of cross-functional project without blame escalations. Where did we start from? Let me show you where we started from. We started from where? Sponsors give emotional broad complaints. Check it out. I'm sure you will agree with me. That's what line managers will come up with. That's what the stakeholders will come up with. Management. We want our people to be happy. What does be happy mean? Please, can somebody help me? We want our people to be happy. We want anybody that comes into this organization, let them feel good. What does that mean, please? What does that mean? So these are expectations. It is your work as HR and L&D to work with the line managers to come up and define. So if you don't, a lot of line managers, they don't know this. So you must know it to be able to guide them and help them. So our sponsor came up with very broad emotional complaints. But our job was our job as L&D and HR to probe, capture their answers, and translate it into measurable expectations so that you can be able to see ROE. I'll take that again. When they give us this emotional broad complaints, I want people to be communicating very well. They don't communicate well in this organization. I want people to smile. People are not smiling. I want people to work as a team. Let them work as a team. Let them show oneness. What are all those? Those are expectations by management. Those are complaints. They are frustration. They are broad. So that's in order for you to help them, which is our work, turn those broad emotional complaints, those broad expectations, those broad statements, turn them by probing. As you probe, capture the answer and translate it into measurable return on expectation. I'm looking at now, we have just 9 minutes. I had case study 4. I'm not going to do that case study. So let me stop sharing. We'll do it next week. Let me stop sharing and just move to the finishing point, because we cannot, if we start it now, we will not finish it. So don't worry, we'll do it next week. So let me move on to our finishing point. So what are the questions? Yes, I'm there now. What are the questions you may have now? So we are in questions and answers. Please, this is time for you to ask your many questions. We have just 8 minutes. What are the questions you may have now? What are the questions? What are the questions you may have now? Okay, I thought I'd already turned this. I'm so sorry, please forgive me. I thought I'd already turned it. This is where it's supposed to be. Questions. What are the questions you may have now? Okay, I see question on the chat box. In some big organizations, the line manager's perspective in times of probing see it as unnecessary, thereby making deployment pretty difficult for the L&D. What would be your thoughts? Before I answer that question, who asked this question? I think that should be this. Who asked this question? It was asked specifically to me, not to everyone. Okay, Stella. Okay, thank you, Stella. Okay, awesome. So before I answer this question, the first thing I will tell you is go and watch our videos. I don't know if Kamsi has put, Kamsi, I hope you've put a link on our YouTube link on the chat box. Please, if you've not done that, please do it now. Go and watch our YouTube. Go and watch the videos. This thing you're asking has been answered there. But because you've asked it, I would answer it. Go and watch our videos. Now, let me answer it by this. In one of the videos, I talked about stakeholder engagement. L&D and HR, you will agree with me that line managers see you people as a cost center. That you're not doing any work. They are the ones doing the work. That you're just walking around, lavishing around, enjoying. You're not doing anything. In most organizations, HR and they're on the fence. HR, you're on this side. Line managers on this side. There's a divide. There's a bridge separating HR and line managers. It is your duty as HR and L&D to cross that bridge. Build a boat from this end where you are, that you'll be able to cross over to this end where they are, which we call stakeholder engagement. First thing, create that engagement. Let them know that I want you to succeed. They feel you don't want them to succeed. You're always looking for one thing or the other. You're looking for more work to give them because you don't have work. They have so much work. They have up to 10 people reporting to them, some 20 people, and you're giving them extra work. HR, you don't have work. That's why you don't understand. You're not on the field like us. Come on the field and you understand what is happening. So the first thing you must do, starting now, if you've not watched my video, which I told them, start engaging your line managers. Stakeholder engagement. Let them know that you want to help them succeed. Understand. No, you cannot measure understand. So I don't like using understand. Articulate their objectives. You may, depending on how large your organization is, you may not know all of it. At least have an idea of what their pains are, their objectives are, because that's the only way you can be able to work with them to get solution. And so if you're able to do that, there's no one person that has every faculty complete and seeing that you are trying to help him or her department succeed, I would not listen to you. They will see what you're bringing to them. Like all these things I've told you, you've not built stakeholder engagement, and you can't start saying, want to start doing this, They'll say, Charles, come again. Ellen, you have come again with more work. First things first, build that rapport, relationship building. How can you build relationships? One, the values. What are their values? One of the strategies, Kirkpatrick taught me that. Or let me say it's broadened. I knew that, but I did the Kirkpatrick to silver level. I've done the bronze level 4 years or 5 years ago. So this year I did the silver level. That's why today I don't stop learning. And one of the things they talked about, the strategies of stakeholder engagement. Maybe I should talk about that next week. Maybe after this case study, I'll talk about that. There are some strategies you can use to engage stakeholders. One is speak business language. Stop speaking HR language, HR jargon, L&D jargon. Stop it. They will not listen to you. Speak the business language to them in business terms. Secondly, get them based on their values. What is it that they want? They want to succeed. They want to meet their goals. They want to, for those that like the target people, the sales and marketing, they want to meet their target. Some are giving 1 billion, some are giving 500 million. They want to meet it. Based on their values, reach out to them based on their values. These are some of the ways you can. So when you've done that, then there's no how they will not be ready to listen to you, to even support you, to ensure that you're able to, because it's for their own good, it's not for you. Everyone, I usually say, in Africa, there's an adage that says it takes a village to raise a child. In Igbo, we say it. In Nigeria, in Igbo land, your neighbor, your neighbors, your mother, your neighbors, that's your neighbor who is an elderly woman, who will beat you. You go and report to your mother. Your mother will beat you for reporting that the neighbor beat you. Because we take it that we're grooming. It takes a village to raise a child. If I see my neighbor's child doing wrong, I will beat the child. Oh, in Kenya, you have the saying to Magdalene. Okay, great. I will beat the child. If I see my neighbor's child trying to do something wrong, I will correct him or her and I'll beat the person. And if the child goes to report to the parents will beat that child for coming to report. So the same thing in the organization. HR and L&D, you alone cannot show return on investment and return on expectation for the training investment. No, you cannot. It is a collective effort. The effort of the line manager, the effort of even those that will give you the data. You can imagine this kind of organization, they are hiding data. How will you get data to prove ROI and ROE? It is a collective effort. And that's why I say it takes the organization to show ROI and ROE. It takes those stakeholders that are involved to show it. In a football match, we're almost done. Okay, let me stop. I cannot talk again. I wanted to wrap up. Let me wrap up to say, in a football match, it takes the midfielder, it takes the striker, it takes the defender, it takes the goalkeeper, it takes all of them to become successful, to win a match. Why will it be different in the organization? Let's stop there. I don't like delaying us. So I don't know if I helped you. I answered your question, Stella. Stella, please. Please let me know if I did answer your question.
Yeah, sure you did. It's something I already do, but I just wanted to have a broader knowledge about it. You did. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stella. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, if there are no more questions, I just want to say no more questions. I want to end by saying, what is your next line of action? You're welcome, Magdalene. What's your next line of action? For those from Kenya, please put down your phone number. We'll reach out to you. Why will we reach out to you? I'm coming to Kenya next month, October. So let's connect. Put down your phone numbers. Kamsi will get it. So what will be your next line of action? What is your next line of action? Please, you have to try one practical tip from now until we meet next week. And you will share your experience with us when we come next week, Thursday. Please don't run away. ensure you're here next week, Thursday, to share one practical thing you did. Do you want help? Let us talk about how we can build or repair your ecosystem. Join our mastermind program called 2 starting Monday, October 6th. Invite me to speak with your leadership team, which is what I'm doing for people. Let me speak with your leadership team. Invite me. I'll glad to do that. Reach out. Let us stop training for the sake of training. Let us build for transfer. Let us build for transformation. And I usually say, old ways won't open new doors at all. Old ways won't open new doors. Those from Kenya, please drop your number. Old ways won't open new doors. Every impact-driven training starts with a bold conversation. Start having those conversations now. And in conclusion, return on expectation begins where clarity starts. Until your expectations are defined in measurable terms, they remain invisible. And what is invisible can never be proven. And that is a quote by me, Sandra the Oracle, Africa's leading voice on training transfer effectiveness. And so, on this note, I just want to say, finally, be happy and feel good about yourself always. Thank you. And this is me. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Twitter, and that's my email address. Let me stop sharing. Thank you, everyone. And so if there are no more questions, I just want to say thank you for spending time with us tonight. We look forward to seeing you again same time next week, Thursday, 7 p.m. Nigerian time, 6 p.m. Ghana time, 8 p.m. Rwanda time, and 9 p.m. Kenya time. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Stella. Thank you, Judith. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Pacifica. Thank you, Magdalene. Thank you to my colleagues, Kamsi and Dr. Chinyere. Do have a beautiful evening and have a wonderful weekend. Thank you, everyone. Bye. I'll end the call now. Bye. Bye, everyone. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for thanking me. Thank you for thanking me. Bye.